Howdy, all you delicious people. I am here to review The Masked Singer Season 3, Episode 10. Freaking 10. We are here to talk about the Super 9. Funny enough, 10 episodes, but 9 left. So, let's go through, and that's, of course, as per usual, kind of as a review, kind of tell you who I still think most of these characters are. Then we're going to revealing who ultimately went home tonight, and we'll unmask them at the very end of the episode. And of course, we're going to do a seasonal recapping. A little bit different visual for the seasonal recapping this time around, but oh well. It kind of like not everything is plopped down at the perfect times and this and that, whatever, what have you. So, anyways, so ultimately, I'm gonna let you know right out of the gate that the White Tiger had gone home tonight. I will not tell you who exactly the White Tiger is till the very end of the episode, so definitely feel that you won't be spoiled of who this person is. I hope at the end of the day you'll say that I was right and or wrong about this character by who I reveal who it is. So, let's first off bring up the turtle who performed first. Or I believe he performed first. Man, if one thing that I could say about the turtle, I honestly, truly in my mind, believe that the turtle could probably win this show. Every single time he goes up, he has the best songs. Funny enough, I'm still thinking that the turtle is Jesse McCarthy. Or McCartney, or McCarthy? Jesse yeah, that character. The guy who sang the beautiful soul song. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna still say that that is the turtle. Ultimately, there's a lot of band boy things going around. At one point I probably said Jordan Knight or Jordan McIntyre or any kind of a new Kids on the Block person, which I guess is kind of bizarre because that still has not come up yet to where we have a new Kids on the Block member on this show. I don't understand why. So, let's go and let's talk about the White Tiger's performance. Honestly, the White Tiger, I don't know. Recently, I just like I thought that the song choice was really funny. I'm too sexy for my legs, or too sexy for my car, too sexy by far. Da, 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 da. Even yeah, I probably don't know the words of that song, but it didn't really seem like the White Tiger knew the words of the song either. It just kind of seemed like there were words added to this song because White Tiger theme. So we don't even need to really actually even sing the song. We can just come up with cat words within this song, and that works. I think that kind of does disgrace the song by just formulaically adding in new words. If you're gonna sing the song, try to sing the song. Don't try to butcher it and add different things. Of course, the song does have the words like catwalk and stuff like that. Of course, with it being a white tiger and stuff like that. But ultimately, I just thought I was like, man, they're not even like he's not even trying to sing the song. Is kind of what I thought in my own mind. So Rob Gronkowski was the person that I've assumed for a very long time now is the White Tiger. Ultimately, looking at a lot of the clues of the past, but now looking at it as just like a lot of these clues for this episode really did not help me at all. Nothing helped whatsoever, as per usual. You either have to know by now who this person is, or have absolutely no effing clue at this point. But let's move on. Let's move on to the kangaroo, who ultimately their clue was to just show us a smaller kangaroo, which I didn't understand what that is. So I'm still assuming that it's either Jordan Woods or Jordan Sparks. That's what I'm still assuming. Reasonably, at the end of the day, I don't know if this song was really all that good. It was kind of meh. It was just kind of meh. The banana. The banana. Reasonably, yeah. The clue was that somebody is rocking a mullet, and I, at the end of the day, just want to say Mole, 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 mole. So, Brett Michaels is who I'm assuming the banana still is. Reasonably, every time the banana goes up there, I'm even more certifiably thinking of that fact that it's Brett Michaels via the performance. Um, Banana did sound really good tonight. I'll admit that he sounded really good. I really enjoyed the song choice. I really enjoyed the way about going about doing things. Uh, Sweet Home Alabama, really good song, feel good song. Yeah, gotta give it to him. Moving on, the frog. Funny enough, I had just played some game and I just played Animal Crossing. And while I was playing Animal Crossing, the nickname that I gave myself was Crisscross because I remember that song Crisscross Make You Jump Jump. Funny enough, the frog performed the song Crisscross or Jump by Crisscross. So I was like, wow, that's kind of very ironic. It's as if I psychically knew that the frog was going to sing this Crisscross song. Is just serendipitous. Is weird. Um, Funny enough, I still assume that the frog is Bow Wow because again, so many clues, so much evidence to really go through this entire seasonal journey and really just cement that it's still Bow Wow. The kitty, the kitty, the kitty. I've kind of said this consistently throughout the episodes. But I honestly think that the kitty, instead of being Keira Knightley, could honestly be Nicole Richie. Nicole Richie had admittedly said, or the clue said of the kitty mentioned that Christmas is a really important time for her. Well, I know Nicole Richie was on E the last time you probably have seen her, doing this like countdown to Christmas thing with like RuPaul and and several other celebs. So maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But I'm just gonna go with that guess because ultimately, sure. So moving on to the astronaut. The astronaut gave us a little rigmarole, a rigmarole, a rigmarole. He gave us up and then let us down and then turned around and yeah, did some stuff. Uh the astronaut gave us the song of the famous YouTube kind of shenanigans or whatever kind of video kind of shenanigan meme things where you click into something and then you get rigmarolled or whatever his name is. Considering this episode was superly April Fool's themed, I guess this is honestly the perfect song to really go in and sing this time around. But the astronaut was really giving it to us. He was really giving it to us good. He was giving it to us full and good and all this and that. Um, but yeah, let's talk about some of the April Fool's pranks. Nick Cannon talking about his retirement, ultimately to swerve us. There were armpit hair growing gags. There were cards being opened to get surprised and or shocked, and so on and so forth. The list just kind of really did ensue of all the gags and goofs and giggles that they gave onto this April Fool's edition of The Masked Singer. It got to the point where I'm like, okay, we're really just like this April Fool's thing is kind of just really like not silly, haha. It's just kind of silly, like wah wah. Like really, it's just kind of like we already knew it was April Fool's, but on top of that, it was just kind of like, God, this episode is just not that good because of that, just because of the stupid swerves and all this stuff. And like, they had admittedly, I did like the fact that admittedly they were finally just cementing of what things every one of these characters are not. So you can kind of narrow down the person a lot more. Like the banana, we can finally submit now that The Banana is not a stand-up comedian, which was good. A lot of people were thinking Bill Engvall or Jeff Foxworthy or some other comedian. You can't do that now. And so on and so forth. The astronaut I am still thinking is Hunter Hayes, and I don't know anybody else than that, so that's still my guess. If you guys had watched last week's, I had made the random assumptions of time of which to guess with the help of questionable internet things at portions of time. So I was in a bind because ultimately, as you know, there's some times where you just kind of want to look into the internet for things. But ultimately, I also come up with the consensus of some things myself. Kandi Burruss could quite possibly be under this night dark dancing angel, which I'm just going to call the angel because I'm giving up trying to pronounce whatever the heck the first name of this person is. Nart Dyke Do Diddly Angel. Yeah, the angel character. I'm still assuming it could be Kandi Burruss, but also I am also still assuming that it could be Taylor Taylor Dane or one of the Dixie Chicks. It does sound pretty good. Those odds sound pretty good in my flavor. But other than that, I dare in fact heard the Rhino had his one of his clues talking about giving somebody a quarter, which I'm like, this isn't Randy Travis, is it? Something about a casino, which honestly did not make sense to me. There's a lot of times when a plane show appears on, funny enough, the Rhino's clue package. Ultimately, I've recently found out that Tim McGraw does have his pilot license. He can draw it. He can fly a plane. So ultimately, I could assume that the Rhino could be still Tim McGraw or Jason Aldean. But lately, I've kind of go on to the clue of maybe it's Barry Zito, who could be a pitcher from the San Francisco treat. The San Francisco Giants. He's a pitcher. That's, look him up, folks. Look him up. But yeah, those are who I am still assuming some of these people are. I could be way off, or I could be way correct. Ultimately, the Rhino had mentioned that he has several records that probably a person had picked up at a point in time. So ultimately, I would assume so much more so that it could quite possibly be Tim McGraw. Because ultimately, there's a lot of times where, like, the first starting of the clue mentions that a lot of people are assuming that this Rhino is an athlete, but maybe they're off the trail. They're off the dusty trail or whatever it ends up being. So I'm much more thinking that it could quite possibly be Tim McGraw. But I also want to assume that it could be Barry Zito, or it could be Jason Aldean, or it could be any number of other different kind of country singers over time. Maybe it is Travis Tritt, because here's a quarter called Someone Who Cares. I don't know. It could be any number of people. At my time, I will probably throw in the hat of all kinds of things at this point, because who effing knows? So, now that I got all the clues out of the way, now it's the time to say who went home, who is under the mask, who is going to be revealed as the feel-good personality of the week. Ultimately knowing full well that I know this person personally because I've seen them on the TV. And so that's how personal I know this person from a personal person to person kind of thing. Joking aside, I think it is time now to unveil who I have seen unmasked on this episode. So, I think it is that spoiler time to rhyme and say good day, because this video is almost over, because ultimately we're going to reveal who the White Tiger is right after these messages. Oh, we don't go into commercial break? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll reveal it right now. The White Tiger is not only a Gronkowski, but is a Rob. Rob Gronkowski, former New England Patriots and three-time Super Bowl champion, forgetting completely because this show was taped beforehand that this character is a current WWE superstar, meaning WWE athlete, meaning WWE SmackDown wrestler. Whether he actually wrestles or not, I do not know, and I do not care, because ultimately it's another celebrity that's probably going to wrestle one whole match at WrestleMania because somebody needs a big fat check. So, Rob Gronkowski. In the clue package, he reminisces on the clue packages because somebody has a big package to showcase here. There is a picture that was presented in the background of a cow skiing, so it should have been Gronkowski. So I look at that and I just kind of laugh. And then all the other clues were like packs of butter, and I'm like, what the F was that all about? What was that? I don't know. But Robin Thicke was thickly in it. He was Rob Gronkowskiing all the way from the beginning. And so, surefire enough, Jesse McCarthy still went with that way as well. So, ultimately, those two locked it in and they won finally. They actually guessed correctly because they are actually smart for once. They put 2 and 7 together and they came up with 9. And man, am I just feeling good about them actually getting this correct for effing once. Because a lot of the times they are way off. And I mean off. And I mean turn the light fixture on and off. Because they're off. So, reasonably, they had gotten one scoreboard on the winning column for these people. But ultimately, I can't help but think that these judges are still so far beyond off. It's redonkulous at everyone else's kind of ways. Luckily for the banana, it seems like they're coming onto the Bret Michaels train. It seems like they're coming onto the Nicole Richie train. It seems like they are coming on to not much else. But at the end of the day, I just want to say that there's something about these people that I think by the end of the times that we live in, they could actually guess people under costumes correctly. So, yeah, Rob Gronkowski with his face and all. Ultimately, like, I was just kind of like, at first, I was kind of like, you know what, Rob, blah. But you know what, towards, like, when he actually got unmasked, I was like, nah. Like, Rob kind of wins me over with his very goofy performances. And ultimately, not a big fan of him being in the WWE right now, but ultimately, I haven't really been a big fan for WWE right now, regardless. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So, anyways, Rob Gronkowski, the White Tiger. Let's go on to a seasonal recapping. We're going to talk about what is left on the hit list of things to get right and or wrong, hoping our next 8 people we unmask are all correct. So, I think it's that time again to just give a 5 count because ultimately I don't have any kind of true revealing photos of anybody because ultimately I had to go through a different kind of photo this week. Hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah. So now, seasonal recap. So yeah, so we have the Super 9 here because evidently they didn't have the scorecard or whatever as per usual unmasking of people. So I'm still feeling pretty dang good about the Night Dark Light Super Angel, Chris Angel, Mind Freak, something going on. Yeah, I'm pretty good about most of these guesses. I think at least One I'm gonna get wrong out of 8, and I know there's 9 here, but one I already had a math. So out of the next 8, I think I might just get one incorrect. So I ultimately feel like I am going to be on a winning season. Ultimately, for reasons that I can just say that I have much more so said in passing that I think this season's going well for me. Ultimately, if the Night Angel is wrong, then the Night Angel is wrong. Still, I'll get 7 guesses that are correct. Or maybe Rhino could be wrong, and I could be still getting 6 guesses correct. Or 5 guesses, because I already got Rob Gronkowski correct. So now, I have kind of sat here and cemented that I pretty much am close to a very much winning season. So yes, 3 seasons in a row, I have won in all technicality, because ultimately I'm assuming my guesses could quite possibly be correct. And if I am wrong, then I will be eating a lot of crow. But you know what? I'm feeling so good that I think my logic is undeniable at this point. I want to be wrong with some of these people. I honestly do. I really and truly, in my heart of hearts, want to be wrong about these people. And I want to be so shocked and so surprised and so baffled that I could be wrong for this entire season. Out of 3 seasons, I want a season where I guess everything wrong. I want to strongly just go through and just be like, God, I'm a horrible guesser this season. I really do. I honestly think season 4 is going to be set up to be like that. I am very kind of curious, though, if we're going to get episodes. Like, to have this be a 2-hour special, but they only eliminated one person. So evidently they're not ramping up to kind of get this season over with because of kind of what's going on right now. So I'm kind of curious how they're gonna shoot things. I'm kind of curious if they're gonna continue every week, because it seems like there's a lot of question marks on a lot of things. Are we going to get an episode next week? I'm not sure. Yeah. So we just kind of have to kind of like cross our fingers, crisscross our fingers, and hope for the best. But yeah, I'm feeling so good about this season. I'm going to cement winning season. I am going to submit right now. Winning season. So 3 seasons in a row, I have won. So that's all I'm gonna say. Cause recently there's only so few left now. Recently I get in the I guess in the next season, I'm gonna try as much as possible to get every single person correct. But it's gonna be even harder within the next season to get most of everyone correct. Cause these clue packages are just garbage, and then ultimately you don't have enough time with one costume character to guess who they are. You get one performance or maybe 2, and then after that you're just like, God, I don't know who exactly this is, but like I have a hinting suspicion that it might be this person. Honestly, for this season, every time somebody's saying, I could not right away pinpoint much of anybody except for maybe the banana. Every other person I had to honestly, really and truly marinate on for a week to figure out who they are. I could not do it right a effing way. There was no way I could do it right away. So ultimately, within the next season, I just think that I'm either gonna have to get really lucky, or I'm gonna have to get really just banging on all cylinders on this one. Because ultimately, yeah. So I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.